Yo, what's up? It is Thursday, May 1st. This video should not be super long if I could find my digital pencil, and I have. So, make sure that you standing on business. We're gonna got entry activity number 44. Y'all see the vibes. Make sure to write that in your agenda. We do got a practice test coming up. Neil, before we get to that, let's get to this. Pause the screen. Again, I'm gonna move myself on over here. Pause the screen. You will need a periodic table. Identify what this element is. Identify what element this is. How many protons, electrons, neutrons. All the same stuff that we did yesterday. How many atoms of this element are in this chemical formula? Again, all the things we did yesterday. So again, pause the screen and then handle that business. All right, the thing I want to know is, did you go on the periodic table and find it? Okay, did you find it? So let's just take a look. So it says 78. That's 14. Definitely not it. 78. It must be platinum. That must be the one. So hopefully you went and just looked at your periodic table just like I did and found the atomic number 78 and then said, okay, the identity of this one must be platinum. Boom. And it is platinum. Now, let's get on to the next part. So how many protons? Remember that the atomic number is equal to the number of protons in an atom, right? So we've talked about that. This is the atomic number right there. So the number of protons should also be 78. Okay. The number of electrons. Now let's talk about that. Since we have 78 protons and we have a neutral atom, then we're going to have 78 electrons. Okay, so we also have, so it's going to be the same amount because we have a neutral atom. Now on to this next thing. So how many neutrons do we have here? Well, we're going to have to do some math, and this math is going to take a little bit more. So now we got to be like minus 78. So we're going to take the atomic mass and we're going to subtract out the number of protons, 78, and let's just see what we come up with. I think I actually am going to need my handy dandy calculator because I do not know this off the top of my head. CAL. All right, calculator, where are you? Oh, there you are, calculator app. Boom. So then now we got the calculator app. So at 195.085 minus 78, okay? And that gives us 117.085, and then that is going to end up, so that gives us 117.085, and that will just round us to 117 neutrons. Now, so hopefully you saw all of that. You were totally good with it. And again, we just rounded this number here. And then how many, and before I skip to the next part, is I just want to make sure, remember, we either have a neutron or we don't. So there's either 117 or 118. That's why we've got to round it. And remember, this atomic mass is an average to begin with. So how many atoms of this element are in this chemical formula? And since it is platinum, right, there are actually just one. That's it. There's no subscript there, so it's actually just one. Now, I do want to talk about this chemical formula for just a moment so we can do that. So I'm going to pause for a second. All right, let's just go ahead and take a look at this chemical formula. I just wanted to show you, this is one extra thing that we haven't talked about. So we have what? We have nitrogen right here. And then we have hydrogen. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. We're like, oh, it's nitrogen, right? All right, cool. And then this joker right here is hydrogen, right? All right, cool. And then we're like, all right, this is plat. And I always have to say platinum. And it's whoop, whoop. And then this is chlorine. This is another one that I really have to go out and spell. That's chlorine. Okay, so chlorine, there are 6, right? So 6, and that's cool. Platinum, we ended up with 1, right? And then hydrogen. Now this is where we get into how do we count. So right here, it does not have a subscript. So that means there's 1 nitrogen right there. But then also, there is 4 hydrogens right here. But then we have this to subscript, and it's outside of these parentheses. And that's letting you know that we have two of these molecules right here. So there's two of these molecules. So when you see this subscript now belongs, is like that distribution. So it belongs there to here, and then it also belongs there. Whoops. So what you have is in here, I think I'm going to erase that because I think this will make more sense like this. Really what you have is this. You have NH4, and then you have a second NH4. Boom. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. So when you have this subscript outside of the parentheses, it's just like distribution. So you end up with two of them. So the nitrogen, you're going to end up with two because you have one nitrogen there and one nitrogen there, and you have four hydrogens here, four hydrogens there. So you end up with 8. I just wanted to show you this notation. That's why I picked this one, because I was like, oh, it has a little bit of a differentiated notation. So I just wanted to show you guys that as well as we are just moving along. I know I'm like, yo, we haven't practiced too much of that. Don't worry, this kind of thing will not be on the test. However, I just wanted to show it to you. Okay, I just wanted to show it to you guys. Okay, cool. With that being said, the only thing is that we got to talk about now is the fact that we are not, and I repeat, not having the test tomorrow. The test is on Monday. It's my birthday tomorrow. I will not be here. So the test will be on Monday, May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo for y'all. Also, there's a lot of people who are going to be gone today. There's a lot of people who are going to be gone tomorrow. And people are already gone showing animals. So I just figured to make it as easy as possible for everyone, let's just push the test into next week. So that is my birthday present to you guys. So Friday will be study hall and time to study. So make sure to handle your business as a birthday present to me. Let the room be clean when I come back as a birthday present to me. I love y'all. And the last thing that y'all need to do today is really, there's a practice test. We talking about practice. Are we talking about practice? We talking about practice. And let me tell you, the practice is kind of long. I'm not going to front on you. The test is going to be somewhere between 50 to 55 questions. I'm just keeping it real. It's going to be a long test. So it's going to be probably about 50 questions. So it's a large test. And on top of all of that, so the practice test is going to be about 80 questions. I'm just keeping it real. I just wanted to put that out there. There's about 80 questions on the practice test. You can moan and groan right now. Oh, no. Just remember this. There's always more practice than actual game. There's always more practice than actual game. The NFL football players, they are starting to practice, start spring training, all of that. They doing that. They doing the spring stuff right now. Okay? They're not playing football till August. They're going to start right now. And then they're going to go back in the summer. So I'm just saying there's always more practice than there is actual game. Just like in the band, in theater arts, there's always more practice. So realize that. That's why the practice test is 80, and then the real test is going to be about 50. So you should be prepared. Okay, I just want to put that out there. So make sure that you got these things finished. So this first right here, and if you got that turned in, move to the crash course chemistry. If you didn't finish that ed puzzle from yesterday, get that done. Then the next thing I would do is I would review your cards, and once you reviewed through your cards, then go ahead and take the practice test. Remember, the practice test is not due until tomorrow. It's due Friday. So even if you started, you get through maybe 20, 30 questions, cool. You can finish the rest of them tomorrow. All right, y'all, that is it. Peace.